Okay, and we're here. So the fashion department is on the seventh floor of the Sullivan building. The Sullivan building is the only building that we don't own in its entirety. We share with like other local businesses, and then we have like our architecture department as well as our admissions and financial aid offices on the 12th floor of this building. Um, what we're looking at is the display case in the fashion department. So this kind of varies throughout the semester. It'll be student work sometimes it'll be visiting artist work, which is pretty cool. Each department is required to have their own visiting artist program. Once a semester. So this allows artists to come in and kind of inform students of what they've been working on, what it's like to be an artist in that field, etc. So sometimes the fashion department will put the garments of the visiting artists in the display case to kind of get students pumped up and prepared for the artist that's coming to speak. Behind these display cases is our Fashion Resource Center. So any department at the school that's not fully represented in the museum, being fashion or visual communications or fibers and material studies, they have their own private library where students can look at garments for fashion. So you can look at the garments, flip them inside out, see how they were sewed together from a lot of different extraordinary designers such as Comme des Garçons, Yohji Yamamoto, the list goes on. They also have runway videos, fashion magazines for you to look at, biographies, how-to books. My favorite book it's like a Karl Lagerfeld sketchbook, and you can see how he developed the Fendi logo, which is really simple, but like it's interesting to see how he was just like drawing and playing around, and this brand and this logo sticks with us until this day. So yeah, that is that part of fashion department. As you come down into the hallway, you'll see the fashion studio spaces to the left. So these studio spaces include industrial sewing machines, industrial finishing machines, all the patterning paper you need, long cutting tables, cutting boards, mannequins. They range from like toddler to plus size male. So the list goes on and on. And the things that you can create, you're not limited to one body type or form. Um, Also, in the fashion department, this is also a department where you can join a core program, which is basically a very specific pathway of courses that you would take in order to graduate with a concentration in the fashion department. Um, in the core program, it's a very specific list of classes that you're taking around design and construction, but we do have plenty of electives in the in the department outside of the program that you can take and still get the most as a student. I've taken classes in the core program and I've taken classes as electives. For me, the electives actually work a little bit better for me as I'm able to do more ready to wear things and focus more on making things to sell for my business. The core program, I did learn a lot at a rapid pace, and it also helped me to understand the more conceptual and sculptural and couture sides of fashion design. And I kind of like the in between, so not so sculptural, but not so ready to wear, like a nice sweet spot is what I prefer. So the electives work better for me. Some of the electives that we have include accessory design, fur design, we have lingerie, and then basic like how-to classes like sewing classes, basic draping classes, construction classes, etc. So either or, depending on what you're looking for as an artist and a designer, the core program is great, but it may be too rigid or take up too many studio classes. Then you will also have the ability to take electives, and this goes for all of the departments that have a core program. So your visual communications department, as well as architecture, interior architecture, and design objects. As you go further down into the fashion department, this is where the graduate studios are, and then you see lockers as well. So lockers at the school are given to, in the fashion department, they're given to the fashion students in the core program automatically. After those are filled up, then you have the extras for elective students on first come, first serve basis. So you just bring a lock, register the locker number, and it's yours. But this goes for any of the lockers in our school. So if you don't get a locker right in the fashion department, which never happens, I've always been able to get a locker, there are still lockers everywhere that you can go to. And then on the back end of the fashion department, we have our Sullivan Galleries. And this is pretty much where we host our MFA and BFA shows for the entire school, not just the fashion department. It's open to the public, and it's one of the largest galleries in downtown Chicago. So that wraps up the 7th floor of Sullivan in the fashion department. I'll give it back to Casey now.
Thanks, Blair. I was actually wondering if you could go back to the fashion department and see if any of the images at the bottom of your screen are able to kind of pop out so we can see a little bit more of some of the classroom spaces.
Okay, let's see.
These might all be Sullivan Gallery. Can you go back just a little bit more?
Yes. Let's see. Yes, and I think actually Nicholas may have sent a picture here. Can okay, here we are. So here are some of the pictures inside of the, oh, you can see better. Oh, perfect. I didn't see these pictures at all. Okay. Okay, so these are some of the inside of the studio spaces. So you'll see the different mannequins I was talking about, the long brown cutting tables, and also like the whiteboard. So sometimes your professor, while it is a studio class, will have notes for you to take or things to study from or have interactive engagement with students. Maybe you're learning how to draw croquis or how to do fashion sketches and illustrations, or they just want you to write notes, so they'll use those boards as well. And this is what the industrial sewing machines look like. We have industrial irons as well. And we use brother machines. And then here you can see the sergers. Those are industrial as well. Another peek inside the fashion studios. And this is what the hallway looks like during fashion show time. So at the end of the year, the core students have a fashion show. And so the seniors are showing looks on the runway. And then the juniors and sophomores are showing looks on mannequins in like a gallery style. So this is what the hallway looks like in preparation for that. It's always hectic. And then this is the Fashion Service Center. And this is where we have, where you can rent out additional things to help, with your practice. Like I've been making some tights. And so I needed like a special tight leg dress form that's separate from like the dress forms in the classroom. This is own like leg. So I can check that out from here. If you need a steamer, they also have these new really cool like heat cutters. Like they're like scissors that like get really really hot and cut through the fabric without fray. It's almost like fire scissors or something. And then this is the cafe area. Students will oftentimes sleep here or eat here, take a nap in between like working. And then there's also additional table space and cutting space if needed, if all the classrooms were filled. And then the Sullivan Galleries.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Blair. I think it's really helpful just to see some more of those spaces. And for students who are interested in the fashion department, I definitely encourage you to take a look on our website at some of our faculty. Blair, is this the Fashion Resource Center in the library that you were talking about?
Yeah, so here's the Fashion Resource Center. A few more images. So the inside, like I said, the garments are all from different like renowned designers. We have a lot of books, TV, DVDs of like runway shows, even VHS. We have a VHS player for certain runway shows because of how old they are, which is not that old because I remember VHSs, but to a lot of students that might be really, really ancient. And then the Fashion Resource Center has not just clothes, but as you see, shoes, accessories, and hats as well. More pictures of that. And this is like another example of a display case that we've done as student work. And this is actually from Jack Caves, who's Nick Cave's brother's class. It's all about shape and theory. So it's not just about thinking about functionality on the body. It's more of a sculptural class, but it is in the fashion department as well. Yes, and so I think
awesome.
that's all the images. Yep.
Cool. Thank you so much, Blair. I appreciate kind of going into a little bit more detail about that. And for interested students who want to learn more about the fashion department, again, please check out our website, saic.eu. You can get some more information about the program, but also learn a little bit more about some of our faculty. And then if you're interested in getting in touch with us to ask additional questions, you can reach our office at 312-629-6100, or you can email us at ugadmis@saic.edu. And thank you for kind of going on that longer tour with us as we navigated some of those images. Apologies, the photographs are not the highest quality images. They were taken kind of last minute by a student. But I think they give you a good sense of what the department has to offer and what our facilities look like. So thank you again for joining us for our virtual tour of the fashion department. Thank you so much, Blair, for taking us on that tour. And I hope you all have a